welcome to another week of the Abuse Cartoons live stream. So you may have noticed it's a different day. So I'm trying Tuesdays, back to Tuesdays. I think this will work. The schedule this year is kind of crazy. So I hope this will solve the problem. So I think this may be the regular day for a while. We'll see how this goes. But hello Joe. How's it going? And yeah, hopefully this will do the trick. I have no idea, but yeah, this may be a good alternative. I thought Thursdays worked well because it was kind of a day after all the university stuff, so I had maybe stuff to talk about or whatever. But yeah, this'll be our new our new regular time until something else changes, until junior high school. All right. So I hope everyone is doing well. I think I got the notifications sorted out. Facebook needed reset, but it seems to be working now. So hello, Facebook. But yeah, I guess it doesn't look any different. I raised the light up a bit, and I was hoping it was going to make me look less translucent, less washed out. So yeah, that big softbox over my table is up about a meter, a couple feet above me now. But I think the result on this camera is about the same. Yeah, nice to see you, Joe. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, hopefully the new schedule is not going to be too too off-putting for anybody to find, but we'll see. And the thing I just noticed when I flipped over to Go Comics is, of course, the Go Comics. It won't be until 4:00, 4 p.m. Japan time, I think, with the time difference, that the cartoon for today will have gone out, like in email and everything. So there won't be any comments on it yet. So I have to sort that out. So maybe I'll have to have a week where I just do one cartoon, and upload it to kind of get us back on schedule, so that I'm working on the Tuesday, Thursday again. Because I was working ahead. I was doing, doesn't really matter, but I was doing Thursday, Tuesday every week, and now I have to go back to doing Tuesday, Thursday. So I'll have a week where I can kind of take it easy, because Tuesday's already done, but that kind of, screws up the comments for that week, because there will be none. The cartoon will not have been released. It does show up on my machine, but I think because it just looks at the local time, your machine's local time, to serve whatever content. So I see it, but it hasn't gone out in email or anybody's subscriptions or anything. So we'll see. Nice. Yeah. So kind of a temporary schedule change. So please bear with me during all of this. I got to kind of do my best to... and it's just because I don't have regular office hours anymore, and doing a lot more stuff from home. So I'm trying to be a little bit more useful with my daughter's schedule, because we don't need to take taxis if I'm actually here to drive. So that's how that's working. So yeah, we'll see how long this goes, because this is the big, I think I was talking about, this is the big entrance exam year for elementary school kids. It's so stupid. I mean, I guess a lot of people that, it's normal in a lot of countries, but for me, I couldn't even imagine worrying about what junior high school I was going to get into. But I guess, parents now are worried about what kindergarten their kids get into. So it's a whole bunch of ridiculousness. And hopefully people start to see the scam that is private universities, because they're most happy with their Chinese customers at the moment. So I don't think they... I'll put this in another layer. Yeah, it's just silly. So, yeah. That's kind of Jello, kind of not. People don't even make those big Jello molds anymore, do they? I don't think people are. That's a very old style thing. But yeah, here at the kind of previous time, different day. So we'll see how that works. Yeah, I'm still kind of buried in. I've done too many unboxings lately. I'm buried in unboxings. Oh, and if K5 pops on, I can give him a little treat. I've been messing around. I got a resin printer. So, I just, that's if you're wondering what all that stuff is, I got a resin. Oh, it's green. So it's keying out. Of course it is. Of course it's green. It's green resin. Yeah, it's just like this translucent green resin. And so it keys out. Okay, so here's about. This is actually primed. So yeah, I'm casting these, or printing these little tiny, this is like a 4 centimeter tall, but just in case I didn't have any tiny people, tiny miniatures from enough board games, I'm now printing them on a resin printer. So it's just the cheap Anycubic Photon, but it's really easy to use. I much prefer it to the FDM, the melting PLA technology. That doesn't seem to, at least the plate that you're building on is such a pain in the ass, because if you get a successful print, getting it off and maybe I just got a bum platform, but yeah, I can handle the chemical interactions of the SLA printers much better. So yes. Jello mold. Yeah, stuck. A stuck Jello mold. That's horrible. Yeah, because you used to be able, because I think this is like this kind of classic, Tom and Jerry looking one that I'm drawing. I think that's just a bundt cake pan, or it's just like I don't even know if it's like intentionally a Jello mold. It's like you can use a cake pan to make Jello molds as well. Anything you can put Jello in. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while though since I've seen. Oh, but it's also been a while since I've been at a American Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving or whatever. So in the certain parts of North America, I'm sure Jello molds are still alive and well, because I just haven't been around them, and they don't really exist here. The gelatin, I think I was talking about before, the gelatin is all plant based, so it's a little bit different. The jelly that they do is not they don't cook down the cow parts or animal parts. It's I think konyaku, the kind of the starch, the plant starch. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I haven't read those ingredients in a while, but kind of like a from a big beet or a big radish kind of type of plant. So much more vegan friendly, I guess. Hey Sedona, how's it going? Nice. Yeah, I miss the variety of things on a holiday table, or the cookie area from Christmas. I can't start talking about that stuff. It's gonna make me crazy. Yeah, always like, and that's the thing that is really missing here. You get no, you don't. People send gifts, like, so here people will send you kind of, deluxe European, imported cookie collections, or expensive Japanese sweets or whatever, from a department store, from a famous company. So they'll send you things. They won't home bake stuff and like bring it over. And that was the my favorite part of like the holidays, is kind of, if you've got a kind of close knit neighborhood, it's kind of cookie exchange time, and each person is kind of famous for their whatever cookies. So you get a little table going of everybody's cookies that you kind of pick at throughout the holidays. At least that's my memory of things. But yeah, that doesn't happen here. You do get a lot of sweets and things, but they're always packaged and sent by by courier. Yeah, a little bit different, a little less of the home touch. But like I said, they tried to do a little bit more of that home baking kind of style for Valentine's Day here. So kids, well, specifically female students, young girls are encouraged to learn how to bake for to make treats, cookies and little cakes and things for their friends for Valentine's Day. But yeah, that's about as far as it goes. Just drawing strange dishes now. I guess that does need an edge, doesn't it? Oh, nice. Listening in the car, that's awesome. Yeah, that's what they were talking about. As soon as Wi-Fi and everything is works well in cars, like why would there be satellite radio anymore? Yeah. So we could be seeing the end of that technology because as soon as you can get podcasts and streams and everything in your car, then why would you pay to have put an antenna and do? What am I doing these strange dishes? Why would you pay money and have a separate subscription for things like satellite? I guess there's only one satellite company anymore, so that will be dead soon. And they scoff at podcasts. That was actually one of their. It's funny. I remember that merger when Sirius and XM, there were two satellite companies originally competing, and they just were merging. And their defense was, oh, we've got so much competition from podcasts and, streaming, so whatever. They just kind of, MP3s and whatever. They made up their list of competitors that made them not a monopoly. But actually, business-wise, they didn't take any of that seriously. And now it's coming to bite them on the ass because they are going to be ended, by that technology that they were pretending to, business-wise, they didn't consider them a realistic threat, but now they are. But yeah, that was weird. I can't believe it's been so long, and I think you can still, like, they do stream online and things, but listening to actual American radio must be amazing now with all the ad interruptions and stuff. Like any popular shows, they go to commercial most of the broadcast. So it would be amazing to hear standard American, ad paid for radio now. Hey K5, how's it going? Yeah, sorry for the different day. So this might be the new. I think that this has to be the new day for at least this school year. So we'll see. I'm just trying to be helpful. I'm trying to be flexible here to help out. So it's So I'm kind of moving things around and getting it to get it working. And hey, K5, since I have you here, I've got I already but so right off camera, whoa, can we get that to focus? Whoa, I'm printing resin now. So these little 10 millimeter guys came off of my Anycubic Photon. So I kind of gave up trying to get a build platform that I could actually get prints off of with my FDM printer. I'll get it working when I have a real big reason to do it. But I was just playing around. But this was actually really easy to set up and do. And so I got the Photon and then the wash, the wash and cure, just so I could keep things as easy as possible, and I wasn't like slopping alcohol and everything everywhere. So that's really easy. They're like two tiny little vertical machines, like the size of coffee makers. Basically, they're pretty tiny, and you can print photo resin and then just take that build plate and stick it in a little washing system and then light them up. Yeah, I got the Photon is because it's the old model, it's the original model. I got the Photon about the same time I got the FDM printer and just never had a chance to set it up because I was worried about the fumes and stuff in the house. So I had them over in a different space. But they started making that no fume or odorless soy-based resin. So I'm just using that for inside. It smells kind of hot, like you get kind of a little bit of a burning smell when it's cured. But there's not the heavy chemical smell. So and I have to test it though because I'm wondering, like strength wise and stuff, if it's the same, if it has the same strength. Yeah. So I had the Photon for a while because I don't know if they make this like base model anymore. It's got a real tiny. The build plate's really tiny. But I'm doing very tiny things, and yeah, these came out pretty well, and they primed really well. The paint sticks to them great. The resin I'm using, I already did this too. The resin I'm using is green, so you can't see it. It's only a Pokemon-like silhouette. But yeah, it's just the odorless, like organic resin or whatever, just so I can do it and downstairs in the house next to a window and not have to worry about anything. But yeah, it was really easy to do. I've only had a couple failed prints. I've done probably like a dozen. I only had a couple failed prints. Yeah. Nice. Hey Rev, how's it going? Yeah, this might be the new time early week stream. So I'm kind of screwing things up because I'm overlapping. Because if I do the comments thing now, there's not going to be any. Yes, it was. How did you guess, Sedona? That was who's that Pokemon? Yeah, that was a it's silhouette. Nice, but mm. Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. I was surprised. Like that was the big thing that everyone was talking about. Is the smell is terrible and it's really messy to deal with. But with the when you can just take the build plate and stick it in the washer, it's really nice. And so the washer was like $100 now, less than $100 on Japanese Amazon, or the any cubic store on Amazon, and so that was real easy to deal with. So that made me take the jump. And so, yeah, now I'm printing 10 millimeter fantasy because that doesn't exist anymore. Like that was a game that they killed in like 2010. It's a game from like 2000 that they killed. They were making metal, like 10 millimeter metal miniatures, which I can't imagine. I mean, they're nice because they have weight to them, and resin doesn't. Like resin is really light. So I think I'm going to have to weight the bases, like any bases or anything I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do like this, like put sheet magnet on the bottom so they have some weight to them, because if it's just resin and plastic card bases, you just blow them over. But the detail is insane. I mean, people were trying to get the FDM printers to do miniatures and things, but you're still seeing like striations for the most part. Like you can't get anything completely smooth, but I'm doing 10 millimeter and getting insane detail on these little models. So yeah, I'm happy with the printer. Nice. Yeah, the washers are really nice, and they make a couple of different models, so anything to fit. But yeah, I just wanted to do it to save like the amount of containers and stuff that I had to have out, because I don't have much space in the kind of area downstairs where I'm doing it. I don't have a lot of space, so yeah. It turned out well. I was much happier with it than because I was kind of reluctant to set it up, and I didn't have a dedicated space with good ventilation, so I was waiting and waiting. But yeah, I had much better luck than with the and I might just try another model. I don't know with the with FDM, because I want to print like big scenery and stuff, because this the resin is a little too brittle for stuff to you can't if I threw these in a box, like there would be a lot of breakage. They're not it's pretty durable, but I could see like because especially at this scale, really tiny stuff breaking off. But it's fun. It's fun to actually get something reliably coming off of the printer, and it's not. The people were making out the dealing with the photoresin and everything to be much more difficult than it is. So that was good. But yeah, a couple of people have been talking about that. And the really cool thing is there are so many artists now that are they have Patreons, and they're doing like Gumroad stores, or there's like My Mini Factory or something. There's a couple of like stores that specialize in digital asset, sales. And so these artists are creating miniatures for specific scales and for specific games, because a lot of the stuff and the reason that the Warhammer Fantasy died is because they wanted to have something that was more legally defendable. So you can't trademark like elf, dwarf, orc, all that Tolkien stuff, because it just comes from European folklore and mythology. So you can't have any ownership of it. So they killed everything that was kind of traditional fantasy, and then just renamed everything super wacky, TM kind of names. So everything has a little trademark behind it, and if you try to copy it, they can sue the hell out of you. But it is just still elves and dwarves and all this kind of stupidity, just rebranded so their legal team can keep you from doing anything, ripping them off. So, but the interesting thing is that then that leaves all of their old games to be reimagined by a lot of 3D artists. And there's some really good stuff. There's a lot of stuff that the art itself kind of pays tribute. And it's funny, especially this sculptor specifically seems to be looking at the old art, because the really old work for miniatures was done with wax or like synthetic. I think it was like a little lost wax casting when they made. I'm not sure but so you didn't have a lot of detail and control, and you had to have big enough. You couldn't have really tiny things that you're casting, or the metal wouldn't actually get. You'd have a lot of failure. So hands are chunky and heads and everything. It's kind of a ridiculous scale, and it looks kind of stupid on a larger size. But when you make it really small, it has a funny, like a charming, retro look to it. So I like that a lot of these artists are kind of aware of the aesthetic that was lost once they started doing computer modeling for miniatures, and could do very realistic proportions and scale, because it was just a kind of a technology requirement that the wax sculpts were kind of goofy looking. Hands were as big as heads, and the proportions were kind of squished, so it wasn't the metal didn't have to go didn't have as far to go. So it's funny, to recreate that. Nice. Sedona, the Pokemaster. What's going on? I've just heard this from my daughter, and then I've started to see things pop up, and maybe it's always been the case, but I started to see things pop up on YouTube, like, are millennials like going it's probably like it's that time, because some millennials are like in their 30s now, so they're getting nostalgic. But Pokemon cards like are going crazy. Like, people are hoarding them, and the value of them is going insane. And I think it's just it's a bunch of millennials that are getting nostalgic for their Pokemon cards from the 90s. I don't know, but it's really crazy. I guess it's still kind of going on here too. There's you have the kind of demographic for Pokemon keeps kind of stretching out, and they're losing a little bit of like the younger generation, because there's a lot of other distracting stuff, and some of the games haven't been that good. Like they've I think younger kids are bored with the kind of running around, turn-based battling RPGs. So they've tried to kind of shake up that formula a little bit, and they haven't come up with anything that will please both audiences. But it seems like Pokemon is getting out of control. Yeah. So the cards, the new cards, and like the English translations of the new card sets are like selling out and super valuable and stuff. But does anybody play? I mean, I don't think. I mean, maybe you could play them, but I think people are just collecting them, and it's crazy. But my daughter in her 20s was so happy she came across some binders of Pokemon cards that I bought her like back in the day, and she was so happy to find those. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. It might just be a trend, and she's also doing a lot of illustration work. So a lot of her inspiration for her work is Tamagotchi, Pokemon, Neopets. Yeah, she has all of those influences in her work. So maybe that's part of it too, is she's paying more attention because she's looking back at all of those old character designs. All right, boxes and boxes and boxes. Yeah, these are kind of cruddy looking plates, aren't they? Oh yeah, that's a good point, man. I don't know. I think it's like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I know in Japan kids are still playing Yu-Gi-Oh, but yeah, I don't know if the card game. I think it's based on that kind of system though. Those the really big numbers, like 287 power or whatever. I don't know. I never played it, and vaguely I forget. I think I played like there was like a Flash game or something that was based on those kind of rules. So maybe I found a little bit because I think I did that with Yu-Gi-Oh as well. Like somebody did a Flash game that was basically using the rules for that game as a test. So I learned a little bit of those rules. But yeah, it's not. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if if that system even works, and if they're still. I mean, they've been making them for 30 years now. So it's got to be a mess. But I guess Yu-Gi-Oh though too. Yu-Gi-Oh is still. I don't know if it's new cards, but they must have a busted meta. I don't know. Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah, she didn't say anything about playing it. She just was talking about being grateful she had a bunch of the cards. So it might be more art based, more collectors and aesthetic based appreciation. But I was noticing, so yeah, so many people opening packs and things, opening Pokemon card packs on YouTube. So it's something's getting. And she was saying too that there's a lot of counterfeits and stuff. Like, who is going to counterfeit Pokemon cards in 2021? But anything's possible. But yeah, you can hit those. Like toddlers are like like 4-year-olds. It's like 3 or 4-year-olds sometimes, and especially if they have a younger sibling that's getting a lot of attention because they're a useless baby, do that weird baby thing where they start to act. They want to be a baby again, and they want to be carried, and they want to have a bottle and things. There is that weird kind of like regression thing. So this might be one of those. Trying to regress back to junior high school in your 20s. But yeah, it's a funny thing, and then there's always somebody there to cash in on your nostalgia. Nice. Yeah, I was mostly sorting card binders and things out. Oh, nice. This pack didn't have anything good in it. That's great. I already got all these. Can I get another one? Yeah, that's funny. Where was I seeing that? There was some conventions or whatever where you see that a lot. You'll have card sellers, and they'll just be kids like laying somewhere in a convention center, like some carpeted area or some corner with a bench, just like rapid rapid opening those plasticky cellophane packs of of cards just making piles of wrappers everywhere. And now people live stream it now. People like open boxes and stuff on TV. Yeah, the only thing that still seems like it's pretty active in that way where you're kind of forced to buy a box and stuff is mad, and I'm not even quite sure the system is, it's gotten quite confusing now, the way they're producing stuff. But Magic the Gathering has still has kind of actively people selling cases of cards, and there's still stores that sell singles, or there's still stores that sell a lot of single cards for many different card games here. There's a lot of active CCG games in Japan with all kinds of questionable art on it. Yeah, and a few of those, because you've got areas you can rent, like tables, and it's usually on weekends. I'm sure it kind of scaled back now, but you can rent tables to play card games, and some of those things get so some of those areas get so crowded, and there's like stores with like multiple floors of table rental, and it's like some kind of Hong Kong mahjong, parlor or whatever. There's like kids with wife beaters and like stuff tied around their head, and everyone's sweating. There's just no smoking is the only difference, but just a bunch of kids yelling at each other and throwing cards on the table. It's like, what's going on? The otaku version of gambling parlors, of like 19th century gambling parlors. It's funny. Yeah, lots of crazy stuff. Yeah, K5, I finally got the Facebook thing wasn't connecting. It kept so Restream gives me like three options, like three alternatives, or three RTMs or whatever the RSTM, the I can send this stream to three places and more if I subscribe to their like premium thing. But I always had Facebook set up, but sometimes Facebook would just not connect. It would just kind of get stuck on sending data. But yeah, I started sending notifications, and I guess Facebook has gotten a lot. I mean, I guess they're trying to compete in some ways with YouTube, because they've got a lot of tools and a whole business back end and stuff for kind of like a YouTube the studio admin section of YouTube. You could upload videos and do scheduled releases and things all on Facebook and monetize it the same way. But they seem to be like, Facebook isn't always pushing, or Facebook is doing this. YouTube isn't always pushing you to pay money to promote, but that's all Facebook does. So I'm very suspicious of trying to get any sort of following on Facebook, because it seems like they really limit things unless you're paying them to show it to people, and I don't think that's a sustainable business model for a cartoon stream. Is this really going to be a Jello? 3 plates though might look good. Maybe. So Jello does come in those little boxes, doesn't it? Maybe it does. Maybe it still does. Yeah, that's probably the weirdest thing, is going into an American grocery store after I've been away from the US for so long, and seeing like the still kind of recognizable but the weirdly updated logos for everything. Like, I think digital design has like really pushed companies to digital graphic design has pushed companies to keep updating their logos like continuously, so things are kind of recognizable, but they have like new weird gradients in them, and they're like have this kind of odd shape or whatever. There was somebody that posted, and I'm not sure if it's real, if they're the real designs, but posted like new prototypes or early concepts for Doritos, the new Doritos bags. And they're basically like black bags with like a just a line, like a triangle, not even a solid triangle, just a line triangle of different colors that represent the different flavors. So super minimalistic, super minimalist design for Doritos. I don't know if it was real or not, but it looked pretty funny. Something like this might work. These are kind of weird as plates, though. All right. Oh, come on. Yeah, this grabbing layers is fine unless you're doing line work. I don't know. It's kind of a weird composition's a little weird. Let's see. Something like that. Nice. Oh, sweet. Yeah, that game has had... That was out like the early, maybe mid-90s. I was in New York. I was in upstate New York when I was playing that. So that was definitely like 94 or something like that, mid-90s. But yeah, I remember when that first came out, and it was nice. Those collectible card games are nice when they first come out and there's not a huge amount of cards to buy and there's not a huge meta or anything behind it. And of course then there's a lot of like failed games. But yeah, that was a nice casual game to play when it was first out. Now there's like every edition has really complicated like new mechanics and stuff. They always have to add something. We played on the game stream a little bit. The Commander. There's a new style where you play with a Commander deck, and so it's kind of a pre-built deck, or you can build it, but you can also buy pre-built decks, and that's just easier to do because I don't want a ton of cards in my life. But yeah, those old mechanics are still there, but there's a lot of like additional stuff. I guess with each edition they try to flavor it a little differently. But yeah, that's a grind you don't want to get back on. But that's cool. A card case is a nice gift for a for a player. Oh, and what am I doing? Jello molds again? What's going on? This new day is throwing me off. It's weird though, the yeah, when you've got you have to make a game that people can get into and play casually, but also get into and play super seriously, and you release these like sets of cards like every 6 months or whatever, so people are constantly like reinvesting in the game, and then their old cards are and are not playable. Yeah, I'm still amazed by the games that manage to maintain a competitive scene. That has to be a real pain because of all the ways people cheat and the way that people like instantly kind of like break systems, like can break systems and game mechanics. So the people designing the games are behind the curve, as their playtesting never reveals as much of what can be exploited and where the imbalances are, as when you put it in the hands of competitive players and they tear everything apart and figure out ways to completely exploit your game mechanics for cash prizes. Yeah, it's funny. Oh, Why isn't the chat moving? There we go. Yeah, right. It looks like a hubcap, didn't it? Yeah, I'm doing a giant hubcap drawing. Yeah, I gotta get some inspiration going here. Nice. That's right, it was Mother's Day weekend. Was everyone kind to their mothers? I cooked because there wasn't really anywhere to go out for brunch or anything, so I cooked a brunch at home. My daughter was amazed. It was just like one of those bacon and eggs and pancakes kind of deals. But my wife's a good cook, so I don't do anything in the kitchen. So my daughter was happy. So now she knows what brunch is. Like, you know, we added a little fruit and everything, and it's suddenly more brunch-like. So now she knows. It's not really a thing here. It's more I mean, they may do it at hotels and things in Japan, but I think it's more just buffet styled meals here. So I don't think there's technically brunches very often in Japan. But yeah, that's just the stereotype of my thinking is Mother's Day is a brunch thing. A brunch is what you take your grandma to on Mother's Day. So I did a simulated brunch, and I found some corned beef hash too at one of the import stores here, and it was really bad. It was like really cheap dog food or something. It wasn't it wasn't corned beef. It was very weak simulation. But found some decent bacon. There's a kind of a bacon problem in Japan. What they call bacon is basically Canadian bacon. It's not like super salt cured smoky bacon, and it's hard to you can't cook it like you can American bacon, so you lose a lot of that. But I did actually find some mukbang drawing. Nice. Yeah, that's true. Seafood. Yeah. I haven't drawn a lot of seafood. Yeah, I think I don't know if my seafood drawings would be recognizable as what they are. I think I did a little bit of sushi at one time. I've done a couple of sushi jokes, I think. But yeah, it doesn't end up looking all that recognizable because they don't really have California rolls or anything in Japan, so it ends up looking a little unrecognizable. Okay, enough boxes. Nice. Popcorn salad. Wow. I could see that. I could imagine that. All right. I think I already did that. Yeah, the aluminum bottle joke. All right. Well, let's just keep trying to come up with something here. Yeah, but a pretty still low key. We're still in lockdown technically. I think we're that way until the end of this week, maybe. It said 17 days, and I think that was from the beginning of May, end of April, beginning of May. So sometime this week. Well, actually, no. I think they extended it in Tokyo, so maybe we got some more coming too. I thought for sure they were going to lie about the Tokyo infection numbers for the Olympics, but it looks like they're doing another lockdown, so they're being a little honest. Oh, and already there's I don't know if I talked about this last week, but there's already a campaign, cancel the Olympics campaign here. There's people that are like signing a petition. I think like pretty quickly they had like 250,000 signatures, but Japanese people that are saying it's not worth, it's not safe, it's not worth the risk, and don't hold the Olympics. But what they don't know, or maybe they do, is you have to pay money to the Olympic Committee whether you hold Olympics or not. If you cancel your Olympics and you were chosen, you have to pay like a cancellation fee. So you pay either way. Oh, maybe I'll do the tab sticking up deal here. But yeah, so we'll see what kind of protests. And I'm curious if any countries are going to boycott. Just based on, you guys just had a lockdown and whatever. I just feel sorry for the athletes that the timing is working out. So like this might have been like their last chance to compete in Olympics, and it's going to be this weird Olympics where they don't have any family there, and it's going to be just different and possibly affect their chance to medal or break a record or whatever. I don't know what's going on here. Nice. What's going on? My chat isn't scrolling. There we go. Otter Pops. Nice. Oh, K5 Burnt Food. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the... sorry, I was missing the chat wasn't scrolling to keep up. It just had an arrow pointing down. New messages. Oh, I didn't even think of that, Ben. Yeah, that's got to be the worst, and especially with the sensitivity. Like they get a lot of false positives with the. I'm blanking on the name of the test. The something. But the tests are really sensitive because they're taking a very small sample and like kind of boosting it, so you get a lot of false positives. So yeah, it could have your career, and it really sucks. Yeah, it's like every 4 years, and this will be the 5th year. And if you're disqualified because you were on a plane or whatever where you were exposed to something, that really sucks. So you've got such a limited, like athletics, you've got such a limited time to compete in the Olympics, be amateur and compete in the Olympics before that changes. And that timing really sucks. Yeah, so I wonder how they're going to pull this off. I'm sure they're getting their 8K cameras ready. Japan's going to record the hell out of these Olympics if they hold them. That was something interesting. Somebody did like a video essay about resolution, like how resolution doesn't really matter in this like age of digital filmmaking, and most stuff is mastered at 1080p and then just scaled up for Blu-ray or for theatrical release, because when you're talking about doing digital effects and things, like rendering times for digital effects, if they rendered in 4K, would be not twice but quadruple, 4 times as long. And some of these movies, like Transformers movies and stuff, took like 180 days to render, with a render farm of like millions and millions of teraflops or whatever working on it. So if you took 180 days times 4, you can't like just be rendering a film for 2 years. So yeah, so we don't really even notice. But that may be the reason that some of the I don't know. I think I've heard an explanation of this too, but like the Marvel movies, how like weird and dull they are. They have that weird kind of like grayish, like there's not a vibrance to a lot of the colors that they're using. Everything has this weird kind of toned down, desaturated look. So that may be partial responsibility. But so basically the only people that are pushing resolution are like television manufacturers, because it doesn't really, like, you're getting similar picture quality, and upscaling works well enough to on an expensive monitor, expensive display, upscaling works well enough that you don't even really notice that much of a difference. So that but the thing that they said is Netflix is forcing the hand. Did I talk about that? I feel like I've already talked about this, but Netflix is forcing the hands of a lot of production to adopt native 4K, because they're requiring anything produced for Netflix to be filmed in native 4K. And there aren't that many cameras that do that. They're newer, much newer cameras. But so it's interesting that the industry is pushing the technology instead of the kind of other way around. Yeah, it's crazy. What's going on here? Yeah, my scroll's not working. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for visiting on the new day here. The earlier than usual stream. Yeah, I don't know. I still have a lot of I don't know what it is, performance anxiety or whatever for streaming, because there'll be some times where I'll have a little bit of free time and I should just jump on a live stream, and I just don't, because I kind of have to get myself psyched up for it. So that's very weird. And you may notice like how awkwardly the streams always begin. I kind of have that weird just turning on the camera. I'm like, that's why a lot of my tabletop stuff is just my hands, because I don't that doesn't stress me out as much for whatever reason. But yeah, I should be on more. That would be more helpful for everything. But it's just, yeah, it's really weird. That's a really weird thing. And it's a stress that I don't have, like recording things. Recording and then editing things, because I know any mistakes or any awkwardness is never going to make it in the final version. But yeah, live streams, for whatever reason, get all stage frighty, or like, get that weird anxiety, or I'm like, so flipping that camera on. Yeah, when I was recording at the office, that would literally be a thing. It would just take like a little while to get psyched up to actually talk on camera. That's weird. That's got to be a generational thing. I don't think anybody like under 30 has a second's hesitation of talking to a camera. Yeah, it's just weird. All right. How about a can on its side? I'm gonna screw this up. I know it already. Oh, and the live drawing too. That's probably part of it for this stream. Also, is I've never been a good kind of performing artist. I don't know, but I've never been good at drawing for people. That's happened at conventions and stuff, where people will ask, like they'll want to commission me to draw something, and then they'll stand there and watch me draw. And I always like blow it. I always say, I can't really. Whoa, earthquake. Had a little shock there. That's been a while. There's been earthquakes around Japan, but usually don't feel them here. So that had to be pretty close. And since I'm on the mountainside, I don't feel a lot of stuff. It has to be really close to feel it. But that shake of the that felt like a car hitting the house was just an earthquake. Hey G2, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Oh, nice. Morning. Yeah, we just had a little earthquake. Ben felt it too. Yeah, for some reason we get kind of cushioned here because when people were feeling like the big Fukushima quake and things, we didn't even know it. We had to be notified on the TV. And sometimes friends message me, is everybody okay? Because they had a pretty big one that they felt in their office. And yeah, on this mountain, we don't feel a lot. I don't mind that at all. That's one of my least favorite things in Los Angeles. The house felt like it was being, hit by cars or, hit by like random traffic all the time. There's a ton of, wait, this way. There's a ton of those kind of jolts, and we had like a house that was built in the 60s, so a lot of the windows were still original. And so they were kind of loose in their frame. They're all like kind of sliding windows. And so the house would get hit and everything would shake. I guess that happens here a little bit. If there's a decent one, the upstairs, it's all like sliding doors and stuff. So the shoji and everything shake. It sounds a little bit more dramatic than it needs to, just because the, things aren't tightly sealed in their little tracks and everything. They move around a little bit. So you get a kind of more rumbly effect. But yeah, so my first on-stream earthquake. Right. Yeah, I think that's the first time. Nice. Yeah, sorry. I've become completely numb to after like 10 years in LA and now Japan. I'm like, yeah, it's got to last for a while, and stuff's got to start falling down before I'm like, oh, I should probably do something. I should probably get to safety. No, it was real. It was real quick. It was just a shock. It was just kind of a whoa, whoa, whoa. That was it. Which is usually the case. Are these on the same layer? God damn. Yeah, but it's got to be weird for a lot of parts of the world that don't have that, because it's a weird, just like, there's no warning, there's no build up. It's just blah blah blah. Just things start falling down. Yeah, and then there's a lot more. I mean, there's so many earthquakes that are kind of like only detectable by seismic equipment and stuff that we don't really feel. But yeah, there you get, because that was the really weird thing when I first moved to Southern California, trying to get used to that. At any time, things could just start shaking, and you never knew what was going to be the big one. That was always the talk. There's a big one coming, because I moved to LA after post Northridge, and Northridge was the last biggest earthquake. And so when we were looking for houses, there were a lot of houses that people just walked away from that were like literally just like half of the house is like tipping over. It's like cracked in half. It looks like somebody just picked it up, cracked it in half, and dropped it on the ground, and people just walked away from. So there was a lot of weird stuff. Yeah, so I've been numbed. It takes a lot to get me to move in an earthquake. Yeah. But I remember, it was something when I was visiting like my grandparents in Ohio. I think there was an earthquake, and there'd like never been like something that you could feel it. I forget. Was it? I can't remember. We were visiting relatives though, and there was like a small quake, which was very rare. But yeah, that's funny. It is, and that's the thing that they say too, is after there's a big earthquake in Los Angeles, so many people leave. They're just like, I don't want to ever go through that again. and so the housing market is suddenly a buyer's market because people are just dumping houses and trying to get the hell out of there. So yeah, but I missed. We had a couple of, bigger tremors and stuff, but nothing huge when I lived there. The craziest thing was swimming pools. If you've got a decent sized earthquake, a swimming pool looks like somebody was carrying a bucket of water and it just is like sloshing. So like in the valley in LA, everyone's got swimming pools in their backyards. And so it just looks like somebody like picked up your pool and set it down roughly, and the water is just boom, 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 sloshing over the sides. All right. So there are a couple of cans participating in a drink. Yeah, there's a really good, or I mean, good is a relative term, but have you seen, there's a YouTube channel, I think it's Jason A is the name of the channel, but they take the channel, whoever's, doing the work for the channel, like edits news stories and everything, like all of the kind of things that are happening, and says, is this a sign of the end times? Is this a sign, look at the strange things that are happening now in the world, look at the strange, because, we've got so much information now, and there's so much video of, now we've got like Chinese rockets falling, rocket debris falling on us. So we've got all kinds of like really apocalyptic type things. So they edit a lot of those news stories and things together, and it's amazing, like with a little bit of music, how dramatic and like, whoa, what's going on, because we've got this huge oversaturation of information. So there's a ton of content to make you very feel very end of the world. But I liked that style. I thought that was a pretty interesting thing to do with our kind of media overload. I don't know like how legit it is or how seriously the people that run the channel take it, but it's a good it's really well done. It's really well produced. If you want to feel hopeless, it's a great channel to watch, or just paranoid. And I've always liked the and it's too bad that things now, like how derogatory conspiracy theories and like UFOs and Bigfoot and everything have gotten. But I really loved Art Bell. I don't know if anybody remembers he passed away a few years ago, I think 2017, something like that. But he had a really great he was a host for a radio show, Coast to Coast, and it was just a call-in show, but it was all like they would pick all of these like really insane topics, like out-of-body experiences or alien abduction or whatever, and people would just call in, and some people were just playing. Yeah, they were just doing a bit on the radio, but sometimes you get the really serious person, or the people that he would interview would be legitimately they would have published books and things about the topic, so they were like legitimately like experts on these topics. But there was some really great stuff. I just love that, like how far out of reality a lot of that stuff can take you, and how I just love the imagination of it. There's so much in a lot of those areas that goes beyond what a lot of science fiction is able to do or whatever. It's so what is that? I don't know, but it's just really enjoyable, and I really liked it. And he it was a good host because he believed in a lot of stuff, but he also called people kind of on their if they had a kind of weak premise or a weak evidence, he would kind of call people on it, but also believed, seemed to be a believer of some kind. So it was very entertaining stuff. And it was one of those things that when you get stuck, like, doing like cross-country driving or whatever, and you're like checking like AM radio, it's one of those things that always popped up at night. And at night, some of the topics were really great. Like you really got, they really get to you when some of those topics were discussed, and it's like, late at night in the middle of nowhere. I always liked that. Yeah, and I think that's completely gone. I think there was another host that took over that show, but kind of, just a more traditional radio guy. But he basically had like an underground studio in the middle of Nevada that he was broadcasting from, and people would just call in with their crazy stories and interdimensional beings and all kinds of, great stuff. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I'm surprised and maybe it's just it may exist and I'm just not aware of it, but especially during these times, that there hasn't been more of an uptick of, kind of inspirational and it's going to be okay, kind of YouTube and, media. I think that would do well. There's a lot of people that could use some comfort, and mostly it's just kind of angry angry dispelling, or I don't trust this, or they're all crooks, I don't believe them. So I guess that's our new comfort food. But I'm surprised, that there's not more of that. It may just be because I'm not my situation. I'm not don't have access to that, or anybody that recommends it. Yeah, but very interesting. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Okay, wait. There we go. We're doing some plate composition. Okay, so I think this is working. That's kind of the same scale, right? Yeah. Oh, it's funny. But yeah. Very crazy. Yeah, I'll check later. Oh, actually, let's see if I didn't get any messages, did I? Nope. Yeah, must not have been too bad in Osaka. Nobody yelled about it. Yeah, I guess I'll do different color plates. And one more, maybe green. Oof. There we go. Something that won't contrast with red jello. Because it has to be red, right? Oh, wait. Should I put this? No, I'll put the green on another layer if I'm going to do that. Yeah. And then blend this differently. Actually, I don't want that to look like a light coming through. Maybe just the linear works fine. I've got to put highlights to make that work. All right, take it easy, I. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I forget. Oh, where's my cursor? All the time differences too. It's either early morning or very, very late night. There we go. So I'm gonna be a little more daring than usual. I'm wondering if I should. I've got a kind of not a. The beer is very standard, but it's a very weird thing that they did to try to sell beer in Japan that they've done before. But it was so popular this time that they just announced that they're going to stop doing it because they can't keep it in stock. Which I don't understand. Japanese alcohol companies keep saying that. And I guess because alcohol has a, you know, different production time. You know, it needs to actually ferment and turn into alcohol. But but they're trying to do canned beer that tastes more like draft beer. And in the 80s, they did that where you pull the entire top of the can off, kind of like a can of tennis balls. And then there was this plastic thing kind of welded to the bottom, and you flicked it, and it, like, you know, stimulated the bubbles of the beer's foam would foam up in the can. And then you had the wide mouth of the can. So they've tried to do that again, and there's nothing to kind of stimulate it, but as soon as you open the can, it kind of starts foaming out. So I've still got one more can of that, but they already announced that they're going to stop the production. And I don't know, that doesn't make any sense. Like, we can't keep it in stock. So just, I don't know why that they constantly announce it. So they're doing that a lot with Japanese whiskey. A lot of the Suntory especially is just announcing like their hibiki and their very popular blends of, or not blends, or their popular types of whiskey. They're just not going to produce them anymore because they get bought out by foreign buyers and like resold for crazy amounts of money internationally. So their solution to that is just to stop producing something that was selling out. I don't understand what that is. If they're just trying to protect an industry, or I don't know what they're doing, but that was very odd. So this is another thing where it's like, yeah, it's selling really well, so we can't keep it in stock, so we're not going to make it anymore. Okay, that sounds like leaving money on the table, but sure. Yeah, it's strange. Oh, that white is almost undetectable. Nice. Yeah, but maybe I'll run and get that when I eat my spicy squid. That might be a better combination than cold tea. Give me something to... oops. There we go. Something to enjoy today. Yeah, I don't think I have to drive at all later. That's why I chose this day to stream. So I gotta balance my drinking and driving. That's always fun. That's the great thing about having good public transportation, or I guess like Uber and Lyft and stuff now too. But you don't have to plan as much. That was the worst part. Easily the worst part of Los Angeles is everything is driving, and there is so much drunk driving in LA. I think I talked about the, like a driving late night on the highway, and the whole highway is like a tide. Like, people are just like drifting out of their lanes. But since a lot of people are drunk, I think the number was like 40% or whatever were illegally intoxicated on the roads at any time. So you set up a roadblock and you do breathalyzer tests, and you just you nail a bunch of people. But because everyone is so hyper aware of the cars next to them and everything, because they're trying to drive as normal as possible, that the cars just kind of all drift out of their lanes like they're washing up in some weird tide. It's very funny. So like people that are sober are noticing someone getting close to them, and they're trying to get away from them, and all the rest of the people are just kind of locked on the the tail lights or whatever the car ahead of them, and just trying to stay perfectly behind them. So the effect is just this weird washing of traffic from side to side, in and out of lanes. So everybody weaves together in this unified automotive what is that, collective. All right, so what is this? I was just gonna do overflowing, uh, like overflowing cola or something. Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll just mix types of cola. That might be funny. A little bit lighter. There we go. Yeah, but I'm surprised, like genuinely surprised, that there hasn't been a big like return to faith or people looking for some kind of comfort in these like really weird times. And a lot of people are just finding it in politics. That's weird and surprising to you're kind of what would in other situations be your spiritual beliefs are coming out as your politics, and it's that's how people are finding kind of direction or comfort in these really weird times we're in. That says a lot about certain failures and people being disgusted by certain aspects of organized religion and stuff. And I'm not going to talk about that anymore. But just I think that's very interesting, the times that we're in. And it may also, like I said, just be because I'm a bit out of touch. I'm not I'm not near any church-going communities, and Japanese people are kind of casually spiritual. They they go to church for the holidays, and for the funerals they pay the priests to come to the house and do the services and things, because there's a lot of anniversary in, I guess, the blend of Buddhist Shinto belief here. There's a lot of the spirit takes a certain amount of time to get to heaven, so you have to keep praying. And so you have a lot of ceremonies that are anniversaries of the death of a relative, and that continues for it's numbers of days, and it continues for a while. So that's recurring business for the priests, because they come to the house and do the ceremonies. But what was my point? Oh yeah, so but that's a lot of Japanese that I know are very like minimally religious in that way, kind of like going to Easter Sunday and Christmas Mass being the biggest extent for some Christians in the US. All right, what am I doing here? Okay, so let's do some logos. But yeah, I don't want to stumble too far into something I have no idea what I'm talking about. So what does the Pepsi logo even look like anymore? Let's pretend I know. So wait, let's do I'm sure it's still got 3 colors. So let's put some white in there. Oh, actually, mask that. Sure. And some maybe darker blue. Yeah, sure, whatever. Oh, what did I just read about Pepsi restaurants? I think they're going to reopen, because I think they were a thing. They may have been a thing like in the 50s or 60s or something. It may have existed, but they're going to have Pepsi restaurants now. I don't know if that was, it was just a headline that I saw. I was like, oh right, because it makes sense, because PepsiCo, don't they own KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut in America? So that's why you get that combo restaurant. So of course they could open a Pepsi restaurant and have lots of different food. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know what the original, if it was like a family restaurant, or what the original style of dining was. I don't know. For the original idea. let's write on these cans. And here. No, let's not worry about that. Oh, maybe just some basic nutritional information. Yeah, but I saw that something. Nice. Well, thank you, Bubbles and Ricky. Walmart brand Jack Black. Oh, that's the biggest compliment I think I've ever been paid. Nice. Yes, I am the store brand whatever. None of the success, none of the ability, and all of the ASMR. Well, thanks. I'm glad I served some purpose. All right, something like that. Walmart brand. I at least want to be a CVS or a Walgreens something. Oh, Walmart brand. That's definitely made in China. All right. Oh, maybe get rid of that. There we go. Yeah, so I guess I should say something, right? If there are actually people listening. Yeah, it's very funny. Okay, so here. The water level? Yeah, that works. Oh, and maybe... Are eyes actually going to even work on this glass? Maybe. Maybe there's room. I can't tell. I'm the voice you need to hear to get that hangover working. So I'm the last thing you hear before you wake up. Hungover as hell. Not even. My keyboard's not even close to being right. There we go. So this is some kind of taste test gone horribly wrong. Yeah, that works. They all kind of have invisible eyes. There we go. Did I finish? I didn't put eyes on the previous one, did I? I think I finished up. No, I did not. That's right. I was still thinking I was going to do something more. Maybe. Let's try a little bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. Huh. One step bigger. Yeah, there's a lot over this weekend. A lot of people walking up the mountain side for the, I guess, to visit the temple on the weekend because the weather was good. So that always... how's this doing here? Yeah, I guess that works. So yeah, that always seems to happen. People want something to do. And outdoor, I think people are a lot less... afraid of doing things outdoor during a lockdown. Yeah, and I guess actually, no, we technically have a lockdown too. I think the prefecture that we're in announced that as well. But it originally was the city. I think originally was just Osaka City. But I think technically we have that too. But people aren't afraid. It's the kind of casual thing where it's just like closing some businesses early and work from home if possible. Maybe some sweat on the cans. It's gotta look very different from the decoration. Whoa. All right. Oh yeah, and over the logo would help too. Sweaty cans. Yes. Hey, Dootsy. Thanks for stopping by. Yes, a Jello mold. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, but I just drew it. It's mostly, what's going on? Mostly just inspired from old cartoons. I think that's the only place you see. Okay, let's go. Oh. Why am I getting so much complaining? There we go. All right. Oh, I can put this on this layer as well to help. Yeah, make it a little more visible. There we go. Now they're sweating it out. I don't know if that helps or not. It looks like a Pepsi challenge gone horribly wrong. Nice. Yeah, is that Jello reads as Jello? It's like shiny enough. I think. Oh. Totally. Maybe a little bit more. I can do the. Yeah. A little bit more definition of the edges might help. There we go. Now that's some shiny Jello. All right. Well, if we're gonna move into the, I guess let's. It's not comment time yet. I don't think. Let me check real quick off camera. Yeah, still hasn't been released yet. It's either 4 or 5 here, where it's midnight, North America, but still people wouldn't have read it until maybe they get up in the morning. Hopefully people, maybe that's why my comments are so interesting, is because people are like reading the cartoons at like 2 a.m. Okay, so the comments aren't really going to be a thing. So let me be right back, and let me go grab that beer so I can show you the weird beer, and we can stop listening to that kid crying outside the house. All right, I'll be right back, and we'll do the convenience store segment. Or maybe I should change it to a bar background well, you drink beer at convenience stores too. Okay, so hold on a minute, and I'll see you in just a few seconds. All right, I think this is working. So here is the, so this could be the, possibly the last can of this. I'm sure some people hoarded it, but this is what I'm talking about. So this is just a very standard Japanese beer, Asahi, super dry. And you can see maybe the top, so that whole top opens, and that's their gimmick. That's the new technology. Let me take a quick look for a funnier background and see if there's something I can yes, of course there is something stupid I can put behind me. Wow, people take incredibly low-res pictures. But yeah, this will match the there we go. Not particularly. Yeah, it's funny. All the popular Japanese bars are incredibly European looking. It's funny. All right. No good backgrounds. Let's see. Oh, actually, maybe this will be more interesting. Ooh, a jazz bar. All right, let me see if I can get away with doing this live. So here, okay, here we go. Let's give this a shot. So here is our usual our usual candy store background. And I'm going to try to switch it live to there we go. Not me. Am I still here? There we go. All right. Well, that's a it's listed as a jazz bar, but I think there's an Egyptian whatever. Anyhow, yeah, this is a weird background. There wasn't anything very good. It was all very just kind of standard European bar looking with just a Japanese bartender. Anyhow, this is eclectic enough, I guess. So let's take a look at this. So yeah, so here is a nicer shot of this of this can. So this should be a good combo. So there's a nicer shot of this can with the beer king out, but yeah, they're calling it Nama beer. They're calling it it's not can beer. So it's supposed to be draft. And there's the little gimmick right there. They're showing you the whole top comes off. So let's see how this works. I've had a couple of these already, but let's see how this works. And it'll be the last time maybe to see this. So, whoa, there we go. And you can see there it already comes. You get a head. So it looks like open like a can of cat food or some. Whoa, but you do. You get a head of beer. Nice, and I'm already spilling it. So, yeah, it's not that easy to drink, but it foams up immediately. So they did something to it with the pressure or whatever. So it foams up and it tastes a lot lighter. It doesn't have that kind of more stale can. I mean, this is not great beer. This is basically the Budweiser of Japan. It's very standard. It's good with Japanese food because it's a very dry beer. So it goes good with a lot of different Japanese flavors. But yeah, see, look at that. It just foams right up. So, the rats and everything that were running across the top of the beer, now you've got that rim to drink off of. Nice. But, there we go. Nice foam in the mustache. Yeah, but see, you can see it's still pretty foamy right inside. But yeah, I don't know why they stopped. This was a fun gimmick, and it's much more satisfying to drink from an open can like this. It's not, maybe you don't want to do it on a train or while you're walking or whatever. But this is much more satisfying way to drink out of a, ugly metal container. But yeah, so that it's a weird simulation of draft beer. It kind of has, you know, it's a little foamier and a little lighter. I don't know what exactly they did so that it starts to foam immediately. So the one I was talking about, you would open the top of it, and then it was just a can of beer without any head on it, and you would flick this plastic tab on the bottom, so it would like do this thing and agitate somehow. It would agitate the can and give you a little bit of foaminess. So yeah, so this does not exist anymore. It existed for maybe a couple of weeks, and we said it's too popular, so no more, no more for you. But anyhow, the main event is the spicy Ika. So kara Ika. Yeah, so I was so charmed by the terrible English on the front of it. So what is it? Spicy and pleasant to the taste. Please choose your favorite one. Surely it makes you happy. So this is Joki. I think we've had some Joki bar snacks before. And so I was feeling a little bit more courageous and not just going to have some little kids candy. So here is spicy Ika. And Ika is a really good bar snack. Like dried Ika is a really good snack for the most part. It's just in confined areas like airplanes and things, don't bring... There's so many Asian travelers that don't have any sense of how disgusting that is. Oh, so it's kind of an Ika-shaped cracker. So there you go. So that's kind of the, you know, imagine tentacles coming up of here. So kind of a squid-shaped cracker. Yeah, it's a little fishy, but not like overpowering. Let's see how spicy it is, though. Really crunchy. Oh, it's good. It's good. So like a... Is it a rice cracker? Yeah, I think it's just a rice cracker with squid, and it's a good amount of spicy. I've noticed Japanese spicy isn't usually overpowering. It's yeah, it's like a red, it's like a red pepper spice to it, but not, yeah, not terrible. And it makes you want to drink. So I take a bite of this. The next thing I want to do is take a sip of this. So good. It was a good good combination. Good idea. Yeah, just drinking tea or water with this would be horrible. Nice. Yeah, so it's just a cracker. It's just a a squid cracker. So something, it's definitely mixed in. And the nice thing about like the squid snacks is they're really chewy. So you get a little bit of workout on your teeth. The the old saying of the old kind of mother's wisdom, or the if your kids like dried squid snacks as when they're young, if they like the flavor, give it to them as much as possible, because it's really hard and chewy, and then you don't have to buy them braces because they'll straighten their own teeth from chewing really hard chewy snacks. But yeah, the spiciness is just about perfect. It's making me really thirsty, but not overpowering. No, there is a I think the squid part of it is kind of a grayish. Yeah, there's a, it's a rice cracker, and I think what's keying out is the squid. The squid is keying out. But the flavor's not bad, and it's not super fishy. Like when I open the bag, sometimes with those snacks, you open the bag and it's just like high tide. It's or low tide. I guess it's low tide. Just all the worst smells of the ocean hitting you right in the face. But this wasn't bad at all. I think just because it's flavored cracker. But this combination is insanely good. I mean, these are definitely meant, you know. And in the convenience store, there is kind of like the bar snack section is kind of separate, and it's all salty seafood and nuts and crackers and, you know, soy sauce based flavored stuff that complements alcohol really well, complements beer really well. So they've got a lot of that. Oh, it's good. Wow. Yeah, so I've never had these before. I think we've had snacks by this company before, but the flaming, the big red pepper and the flaming bag are not. I think spicy Cheetos, like flaming hot Cheetos, are much spicier than this. And yeah, it's just in that, like, you know, like a spicy chicken sandwich from a fast food place. It's probably about that level. So it doesn't blow you away, but it makes you thirsty. So it's good. Yeah, that's too bad. I wish they would continue. I wish they would do the big cans. These are the 340, but they do like the big ones are what, like 800 milliliters. So, like, you know, not quite double, but they're quite a lot bigger. That and an open top would be really great because you could really pound those. But yeah, such a much more pleasant way to drink something out of a can. I'm surprised that there's a lot of like fruit juices and stuff, but maybe they don't really want you to see what it looks like, the thing that they put in the can, what that really looks like. But much more pleasant way to eat something out of a can. I'll just do another half here. So this background is something you'll see in Japan. You can walk into some place and they're like obsessed with jazz music and Egyptian art. I don't know what exactly is going on, but you run into these eclectic places all the time. I went into it was a kind of a Japanese, I think it was a sushi place. Like, they're advertising as a sushi place, but there was no bar or anything. It was only, or no counter. There was only tables. And I walked in and the disco Star Wars theme was playing, but it was this really weird kind of like faux European, very Baroque looking, you know, like all velvet seats and you know, kind of gold foil wallpaper and chandeliers and stuff. But disco Star Wars theme was playing, but the food was really good. It was just like, Japan has this weird aesthetic sometimes where people just like put all of their favorite things into a situation. So now so here you have jazz, and then kind of the style of a lot of the tables and stuff is very Japanese, but just the decor is always very eclectic and random. So I will finish this as as we continue. It might help the writing, actually. All right. So back to the drawing. Yeah, so those are really good. If you see this, if you see this package and you want a mildly spicy squid type chip, yeah, it's not bad at all. The fishiness is really mild. For some reason I prefer the when they do crackers, if they're squid flavored, I like that better than shrimp flavored. A lot of times the fake sweetness, or there's something weird about like shrimp crackers, cheap ones especially. Like, not, they make very expensive, very nice ones with actual like pureed, you know, dried shrimp in them. But cheaper ones, that fake sweetness of shrimp cracker sometimes doesn't, I don't like that. And Ika isn't really sweet at all. It doesn't have, it's a very neutral flavor. And actually, if you get really expensive squid, I've had some squid prepared in different ways that's as satisfying as eating a steak. Like, it's really, it can be really good, and it can also be really bad. Like, cheap squid or not well prepared squid can be horrible. It can be just like chewing, you know, something that fell off of your Converse All Stars. It's just a rubbery, horrible mess that you can never like completely chew and doesn't have any flavor at all. So it's really funny. That's a huge range of things. So if you say that you like squid, that's a huge range. And, you know, and probably the squid that most people have had is like calamari and stuff. So that's a very different, you can get bad pieces of that as well, but that's a much more easy way to eat squid. All right. Oh, we're writing stuff, are we? Okay. So let's see. I wonder if I put everyone to sleep yet. Discussing open cans of simulated draft beer. Yeah, I should have paid attention. I didn't even... because I know, there's a lot of people that drink on YouTube. channels like Red Letter Media and stuff, they're always drinking. So I don't think there's any requirement. So maybe Twitch or Facebook might not be okay with this, but hopefully they won't be able to recognize what it is. Because anything colored like beer is keying out. So I could just be drinking a malt beverage. All right. So let's do some writing here. So let me get the keyboard in a better spot. There we go. We might. I'll keep an eye out on the comments and see if we're actually going to get anything. Oh, it's starting. It's starting to get through. Yeah, people. That's crazy. That means at midnight, some people are actually like reading my comic in their email. That's funny too. I never thought I should read my comics on my phone through the email a little bit more to like appreciate how people are seeing things, because yeah, maybe the way that I'm drawing certain things, you can't even like really see, what it looks like, or some of the detail is lost because of a lot of people are just, bringing it up in their email on their phone. Yeah, that would be a very different experience from, because I'm mostly looking at it on the website. So it's very different there. All right. Oh, cool. As long as you're not harming yourself. Yeah, as long as not alcohol poisoning isn't occurring. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's really funny. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, that's interesting. It's yeah, give me $1 and I'll drink another beer. Yeah, that's gotta be. I'm sure you could literally kill people doing that. I'm sure that's actually happened. Ah, thanks K5. Yeah, I didn't know what the deal was. Okay, so this was all dessert plate. So I was thinking like what was so special, or what made what was the difference between being and not being a dessert plate, or something something like that. Or waiting for their Jello dessert plate moment. Or wiggling. We could do Jello wobbles. Oh, that's really too bad. I mean, you can drink a beer like this. You could just pour it in. Obviously, just pour it into a glass. But that's really that really makes a nice difference. It's interesting that they didn't do. It didn't completely come out. Maybe it avoids the. Oh yeah. It totally avoids a sharp edge. Oh, that's really interesting. You know how like when you take one of those pull tabs off, sometimes you get an edge that you could literally cut yourself with, or it leaves a pretty sharp where the metal comes away. It leaves a pretty sharp edge. That is completely safe. That's amazing. Like you could put your lip on that pretty hard, and this is a completely dull edge where the top came off. That's amazing. Yeah, so I guess that was the consideration, and maybe that makes these kind of expensive to produce as well. So that's why they gave it up. Oh, nice. Yes. The glitz and glamour. I love that. That's really good. Yeah, the former dessert plates. The yeah, all around. Yeah, let's see the I like the glitz and glamour, the wiggle glitz and glamour. Former dessert plates. So he felt surrounded by maybe the envy of former dessert plates. I like glitz and glamour. That's hysterical. The glitz and glamour. So maybe everything should move up a little bit here, so I can especially for if I go to 2 lines. There's no way that's all going to fit. I love that for his glitz and glamour. That's really good. Until they turn 25, yeah. When they hit the wall at 25. Oh, man. All right. The fleeting glitz and glamour, the envy of, I like the phrase, the envy of former dessert plates. Is it envy though? Yeah, when it's something that you had you don't have. I guess you envy somebody for having something you don't, but it used to. Yeah, former dessert former dessert plates, no longer capable of being desserts. And maybe not surrounded. Felt self-conscious. Or was very aware instead of felt something. Suddenly aware. Yeah, surrounded is funny, I guess, because I'm doing multiple plates. He was okay. Well, let's do this one really quick. I was thinking this was just a Pepsi challenge gone horribly wrong. Oh, nice. Yeah, deserted plates. That's great. Nice. Dessert or deserted. Yeah, the surprising number of dessert plates. Deserted dessert plates. The once dessert plates now deserted. Oh, come on, chat. Why doesn't the chat like automatically scroll? That's really weird. Yeah, that's great. I like that deserted. I guess I shouldn't mention. I don't have to mention the awkward aftermath of a name brand cola taste test. They were awkward in the aftermath. One word? They were awkward. That's not correct. Or the awkwardness. Yeah, I won't say Pepsi challenge, although I want to. Oh, right. Yeah, which plate is deserted? Yeah, because it's completely uneaten Jello. Maybe they had delicious cakes on them. So the awkward aftermath. I need to make a sentence. So yeah, I really just do like weird fragments. But I like the aftermath of a name brand cola. Jeez, lots of typos. Cola taste test. They felt awkward. Why would there be ice cubes? Anyhow, they... maybe uncomfortable. Because there was... somebody made a choice. Like somebody chose something. The uncomfortable... uncomfortable, awkward, awkward in the aftermath of the, maybe the name brand. Oh, how about they felt the usual? Yeah, they the usual awkwardness, or the unavoidable. Unavoidable awkwardness. This is getting long, isn't it? In the that's a really unwieldy big sentence. So they felt the unavoidable awkwardness in the aftermath. That's too much. Name brand cola taste test. Yeah, right. Yeah, because there has to be a loser and a winner. Somebody always chooses or makes a choice. So they both feel bad. One feels bad about losing, one feels bad about being chosen. Aftermath. Or maybe change the so make this the subject. So name brand cola taste tests. So they didn't have results. The results of most name brand cola taste tests was just an awkward. Okay, now I'm the results of a cola taste test was a very specific, let's see, we could do a joke about off-brand. Yeah, off-brand winning. Right. Yeah, the pressure the pressure of a store brand entering the competition. Walmart brand Jack Black. That's got to go into into my review file, or maybe that'll just be the selling point of when I promote this stream. Let's see. So Name brand cola taste test. Or how about there were no winners? Something like that. That's not. No. It's much shorter, but there were no winners in any. Yeah, the failure of the Pepsi challenge. Yeah, I like that. It's sweating. A store brand. A store brand entry into the fear of a store brand, off brand entry. Yeah, I like that. Made them nervous. So their results. Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. The worst thing that could possibly happen. Their worst fear was coming true. Yeah, they feared a last minute entry. They feared the last minute entry of a off brand. There were no winners. The name brand cola taste test. There were never there were never any winners in a name brand cola taste test. Oh yeah, I should do the I forgot they would always have the tubes with an A and a B, yeah, revealing the cola brands. But it's true, that was a really good angle for Pepsi to go after. Is the first taste of Pepsi is always fine. Like Pepsi, the first taste of Pepsi tastes like how you think Coke tastes, but the more you drink, the sweet cola, the more that weird sweetness stays, like sticks to your tongue or stays in your mouth or whatever. So Pepsi just gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter when you drink it, so it eventually becomes not a good taste. But that very first sip is perfect, and Coke always tastes a little flavorless or a little flatter or a bit more bitter or whatever, something different. So I think that was a really funny angle for them to take, is how easy the or how much more satisfying that very first taste of Pepsi was, and they knew that, and that actually forced or pressured Coke into changing their formula. That was insane, because there was new Coke in the 80s. They did new Coke because of the Pepsi taste test. That's so depressing. That's right. It is a blind taste test too. That's right. No glory in winning a blind taste test. Yeah, I don't want to be ableist about it, but I like that. I like the blind. No glory. Yeah. I think just glory is my favorite angle. Yeah, there was no no glory in yeah, maybe I just, for some reason, I'm afraid of the word blind. But yeah, it always was a blind taste test. I always had the covers. There was no glory in winning a name brand cola taste test. Yeah, blind is pretty important though, isn't it? Yeah, and then that gets rid of the whole... I like glory. That's really funny. There was no glory in winning. Yeah, I'm not sure. So name brand cola is a good thing to take out. Should I draw one of those cylinders in there? I'll make it a little crowded. I like glory, though. That's really funny. Oh, thanks, Will. Thanks a lot. Yeah, nervous soda cans and nervous pop cans. Yeah, I've for some reason that's really stupid that I even go to that I even think that, because, and I think it's just because the that was such a common phrase, like the 70s and 80s, the blind taste test for grocery brands competing was really common, but now who knows. But I think though it's pretty safe. The readership, especially on Go Comics, is not young and super sensitive. But yeah, so Will, I do this. I draw 2 of these cartoons every week, and it's now going to be today that I do that. So it'll be Monday night, Tuesday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. And these comics go on Go Comics. So gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And there's also the Abuse Cartoons website. But Go Comics is the archive of everything. If you want to read a lot of these cartoons, and it's just a digitally drawn single panel gag cartoon, so kind of like a magazine style cartoon where it's an image and a joke underneath. And I've been doing it for a very long time, so that's why it takes me so long. I don't know why, but there's no glory in winning a blind taste test. Yeah, so I like the blind taste test is very standard phrase, but I wonder if talking about glory and blind is weird. I wonder if I should. Yeah, I'll think about that. Let's see how the Jello is doing. The other cartoon is a plate of Jello. He felt surrounded by the envy of former dessert plates. Former dessert plates were the harshest critics. Are now empty. And also we do a little convenience store segment, so talk about some snacks or drinks or something that is available. So I'm live streaming from Japan, so we have access to Japanese snacks and goodies, as well as Japanese earthquakes. We had one of those earlier. They're a little bit different. They move in a little different direction. They a little more polite when they're on their way. All right. Surrounded by the envy of former dessert plates. I like former dessert plates, like, faded celebrities, like faded starlets kind of idea. Like, it's so glamorous, because that was Rev's initial idea, the glitz and glamour of a Jello dessert plate. Or some plates just couldn't handle the stress of carrying dessert. Oh yeah, maybe that might be a funny angle too. Some plates just couldn't, just weren't capable of of holding so much dessert. Let's see. Yeah, just like that thing about the opportunity, like when opportunity comes, like being prepared or being ready for it. Oh, yeah, precious, precious cargo. Yeah, I like that. I was trying to think of like a Jello wiggling angle, but yeah, the precious cargo of dessert. Yeah, most plates were incapable of. Oh, so that might be good. Yeah, instead of former dessert plates, the most incapable of of yeah, the burden of holding of holding. There's something. Precious cargo of dessert is funny. I like that. Of pulling off of, like containing embracing yeah, like kind of pulling off. Hey Joe, how's it going? So did you hear the Walmart brand Jet Black in your car? Did it work? Vacuous individuals like, holding. Oh, that's really good. Holding anything more than conversation. That's really good. Oh yeah. Let's see. So most. Were incapable of holding conversation. Now this is another typo here. Precious cargo of dessert. Incapable. Oh, okay. Wait. We're incapable of holding. This is long. Let alone the precious conversations. Can it break here? Almost. Most plates were incapable of holding conversations, let alone the precious cargo of dessert. Never mind, let alone. Never mind, better. Most plates were incapable of holding conversation. Oh, there's a comma there. So incapable of conversation. Holding conversations? Most plates, so conversations. The precious cargo of dessert. So is there envy of former dessert plates or precious cargo of dessert? Most plates were incapable of holding conversations. Well, of course, all plates are incapable of handling conversations or holding conversation. Does that connect enough? Does that make enough sense? Balancing act is good. Joe got some in and out. Burgers, I hope? What are you talking about, Joe? What did you do in the car? All right. Most plates are incapable of holding conversations. Never mind the precious cargo. Oh, okay. Wait. One more word. Gelatin desserts. Jeez, lots of typos. I'm off. Gelatin. Most plates are incapable of holding conversations. Never mind the precious cargo of gelatin desserts. Yeah, sweet. Yeah. Precious cargo of gelatin desserts is pretty good. That's even better than former dessert plates. It's really long, but I think it's okay. So most plates were incapable of holding conversations, never mind the precious cargo of gelatin desserts. Okay. Kind of. I think that one will work. And we're back to the taste test. Fleeting glory. Yeah, it's just so funny that actually had an effect, that advertising campaign worked so well for yes, burgers. Yes, burgers. Joe went for some animal style in and out. I know it. Oh, yeah. Unappreciated. Yeah, right. Feeling unappreciated. Or like, yeah, invisible is good. Forgetting who is who. Yeah, they'd long forgotten who was A and who was B. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be long again. Name brand cola. There was never a real winner, or everyone lost. Everyone was a loser in a name brand cola taste test. Oh, nah, there's no way to get that in there, but that would be funny about a taste test that they couldn't make it blind, like it couldn't be a blind taste test, so you couldn't you always knew what you were tasting because they wouldn't make it a blind test. I don't want to start criticizing woke culture in a cartoon. That's not gonna go well. Yeah, and it's such a dated thing too. Like, that feels like such an old style way to promote or compete. Is brand A, brand B. Yeah, emptiness is good. Oh, it's perfect. Oh, Rev, that's perfect. Yeah, the emptiness of the cans. Yeah, right. Nice. Yeah, that's good. Empty. Following. Maybe following every. all participants, so meaning the cans and the people drinking it and the people burning it, all participants just felt empty following every, at the conclusion of every all participants just felt empty at the conclusion of every name brand cola taste test. No, empty cans is good. That's really good. I like that. And why isn't this the chat keeping up? Profound emptiness. Oh yeah. So the conclusion. Okay, yeah, that's participants is good though, but the conclusion of every name brand cola as it was a profound emptiness. That's really good. I can break it here. The conclusion of every name brand cola taste test was a profound emptiness. Profound emptiness is really good. Nice. Pizza. Oh. Nice. Clear Pepsi. I saw they're bringing Pepsi Blue back, I think. I don't know what flavor Blue Pepsi is, but yeah, Pepsi Blue is back. Shared feeling of profound emptiness. Ah, yeah. Profound. The conclusion of every name brand cola taste test was a shared feeling of profound emptiness. Shared feeling is good too. Whoa, these are so long. The conclusion of every name brand cola taste test was a shared feeling of profound emptiness. That's really good. All right, so just at the end, instead of the conclusion is the results. The results of every name brand cola taste test was a shared feeling of profound empty. That's it right there. Yeah, conclusion was a little weird. The results of every name brand cola taste test was a shared feeling of profound emptiness. Take that, capitalism. Nice. Yeah. It's really, yeah. So conclusion instead of okay. Conclusion, is it still there? Come on, undo. Yeah, the conclusion. Yeah. Yeah. Shared feeling though, like among everybody. I like the shared feeling. There's something about that conclusion of every name brand cola taste test was a shared feeling of profound emptiness. Was a profound emptiness. Yeah, that makes it quite a bit longer, doesn't it? The conclusion of every name brand cola taste test was a shared feeling of Pepsi Blue is berry flavored. Berry cola fusion. Wow. Yeah, I saw that they were bringing it back, and I don't know my news. I don't know if my news actually knows where I am, because Pepsi does a lot of weird flavors in Japan too. Yeah, yeah. That's true. Conclusion is... The conclusion of every name brand cola taste test is a profound... is a profound... Or is profound emptiness... is a... Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, berry soda sometimes can be interesting. I like the Italian fruit sodas. Always have a... The fruit is always a good flavor. Conclusion of every name brand cola taste test is not a... Yeah, is profound emptiness. Where do I break that though? Here? Yeah, maybe here. The conclusion of every name brand taste test is profound emptiness. It's much more concise. Empty drinks and conclusion is profound emptiness. Yeah, yeah. Conclusion is... Yeah, I think I like, yeah, shared feeling of... Oof, that's a big one though. So maybe break it here. Here, there, yeah. The conclusion of every name brand cola taste test is a shared feeling of profound emptiness. Yeah, shared feeling is funny. I like that. Cool. That's really fun. Yeah, thanks, Rev. That was fun to go back and forth on that. The conclusion of every name brand cola taste test is a shared feeling of profound emptiness. Nice. And another: most plates were incapable of holding conversations. Never mind the precious cargo of gelatin desserts. Precious cargo. Thank you, K5, for that one. Yeah, they don't. Just the big companies do. I don't think there may be, but I haven't. Was it the Jones soda or whatever in the U.S. that does like the flavored sodas? There's not a big flavored soda company here. There's kind of like a default. And actually, they said because of the kind of pandemic summers, that some of the companies that make the kids drinks, like the Nmity bottles that have the... I have to bring one of those. Like I'll bring one of those for the if they're still making them, for the convenience store segment. But they have a marble. There's like a glass marble that's sealing the bottle, and you have to take the top and kind of push down the marble into the neck of the bottle. But the neck is pinched, so then marble doesn't go into the like lower part of the bottle where the soda is, and it just kind of stays and rattles in there. But it's not. It's the actual mouth of the bottle is too small for the marble to come out, so it just kind of rattles in that little area. So you push that in, and then you drink the soda. But they're saying that because of the kind of depressed sales of summer drinks and summer activities, that people aren't buying those as much. So the producers of some of those famous kind of Japanese summer drinks are having a hard time. So some of those may go away. But that doesn't make any sense, maybe what I explained, but I will show you sometime soon. But the Japanese Nmity is good. Yeah, that stuff is really fun. So I hope it's still... I mean, because it's been around for like 100 years. I mean, it's really old. It's a really old style of kind of kids drink. So hopefully nothing happens to it, and you know, the big companies will just pick up the slack. See, that's the thing that has really been the kind of, you know, net effect of all of this lockdown stuff, is the small independent producers of everything have just been annihilated. And I mean in terms of, like, you know, goods and food and things, and, you know, small producers, not like content creators, or, you know, like, all of that stuff has done fine because of the digital internet presence. But people that are actually making stuff and trying to compete on a big level have all been just completely wiped out. Yeah. So, oh, cool. That's cool. But yeah, so you've really seen that. So people trying to make a living being an independent producer of something have, you know, just yielded to big chains that can do it easily and better, and also survive the lean times much more easily. So that's really depressing. But anyhow, oh, that's cool. So yeah, so spicy spicy squid crackers, highly recommended. They would even be good with a sweet namune, anything that made you that was satisfying for your thirst. All right. Well, yeah, and I tried to ask Japanese people, what flavor is namune? Like, what flavor is that? And it's just soda flavor. Like, it's their idea. It's kind of like a cider. Like, their idea of what cider or soda is just kind of a mildly fruit flavor, but it's very generic. And it's usually blue. So when things are blue here, they're usually soda flavored, which means namune flavored, which isn't like blueberry, and it's not Coca-Cola, because cola is cola and soda is namune in Japan. So those flavors are a little bit confusing, and based on the color of things, it's very funny. So it takes a little bit to get used to as far as all of that. But yeah, but it's a big popular summer drink. Oh, nice. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because they're very iconically Japanese. Yeah, the spicy, it's like a red pepper spiciness, but like I was saying, it's like a spicy chicken sandwich spiciness. It's not gonna kill you. It just kind of makes you thirsty. And now I'm crunching. Everyone's trying to fall asleep, and I'm crunching on squid chips. Squid crackers. Oh, it doesn't like never mind as one word. Well. Not my problem. People might criticize that use. We'll find out. The angry grammar Nazis on online. Actually, I haven't had them too bad lately. It's funny, like, the more your stuff gets out, the more you have to deal with the people criticizing your grammar choices. Oh. What's going on here? Oh, this one. Oh, that's weird. I had a weird layer of invisible text. Yeah, that's a weird thing. And I guess they do it because people are, you know, I think I complained about this before, of course. But that weird Latin that they throw into the default text of a of a text box or text field now, just because you're supposed to just be laying stuff out. That stuff always bugs me. Just because I read it, like I don't ignore it. I don't just like look at the shape of it, which means I'm not a very good designer, obviously. But I don't. Yeah, I'm too conscious of that. You're just supposed to be looking at the aesthetics of the font, but I never am doing that. All right, well, it's too bad. Let's see if there's any comments or anything yet. Oh, just one. I guess we can look at the last week's stuff. I'm going to figure out the best way to get on track for Tuesday. Like I said, I'll probably just do like maybe one cartoon one of these weeks so that the timing works out better, so that I'm actually doing Tuesday, Thursday during the week instead of Thursday next Tuesday, which is what's happening now. Oh, I don't need to do that. Yeah, so we'll see how that works. But nice. Yeah, it was really good to hang out with everyone. So there is already an 11, so there's a 13 and an 18. And these dates are killing me now. All right, so I just finished next Thursday and next Tuesday. So maybe next week we'll just do Thursday's cartoon, and I'll try to come up with something a little more fun to do. But yeah, this is so we finished Golden Week here, a very subdued, like I was saying, people were just like walking around. This is actually the big season for international travel in Japan. So Golden Week is when you book all of your European tours and everything that people like to do. But yeah, none of that happened this year. So hey, let's take a quick look at. There's no comments or anything, but there should be something from last week. Sure, why not? There we go. All right. So yeah, this is literally today's comic that just came out. So somebody read it. So this was May 11th. Homebrewed coffee and a fast food sandwich tried their best to become breakfast. And previous the 6th. Yeah, so this obviously had some time to get read. So May 6th, this extra piece proved the long suspected existence of multiple cakes. Do not fear, I mean you no harm, I come in pieces. Nice, reader. Allow me to end your crummy existence. That's pretty good, Ed. And the secret of having your cake and eating it too. Chromosome. Nice. The existence of multiple cakes. Oh, here we go. A happy Christmas cartoon. So they wondered how in this busy holiday season there was time to make lunch look this ridiculous. Oh, so those are Christmas decorated sack lunches. It helped to draw attention to their ugly sweaters. I like ridiculous lunch bags and ugly sweaters. All right. Couple more. So this is the archive. So anybody watching this for the first time, this is the archive on Go Comics. So you can kind of see the URL here. So gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And you can find all of these. That is a terrible ice cube tray. Wow. A 2016. Look at how long the ice cubes are. That's a pretty rough drawing. I wonder when that happened. Jeez. Instead of reconciling, they just sat there melting. A bizarre, maybe it's one of those like thick silicone ice trays, but the cubes are way too long. Yikes. I don't even have an excuse why that looks so weird. Oh, here's an old one. So here's an old marker, obviously marker drawn version. And see how it used to be much sparser, like the compositions were much more tiny objects floating in isolation. After being thrown away, litter never regained its trust. That's a good one. But 2006, people hadn't discovered anything yet. Ooh, another 2006. The powerful binoculars knew neither side saw things exactly the same as the other. Oof. Saw things exactly the same way as the other. That's a rough that's rough wording. Lol first. Yikes. 2006. Again, officially licensed merchandise required far more validation than other hats. 2011. Some job titles exceeded everyone's ability to be impressed. Oh, look. All of President doesn't fit on the job title. And wow, lots of 2006. Oh, so does anybody remember these? Those I don't know. They still make those clear plastic candy canes, like full of M&Ms, but they've got like a ribbon or like a tape around them to make them a little bit like a peppermint, and the top is like a hollow plastic candy cane loop. Nice. Yeah, you can hardly tell what that is in the drawing, but that's what it is. Once emptied of chocolate candies, his candy cane shape felt even more ridiculous. There we go. Something more current. Oh, nice. Nice. She seemed somehow less herself around him. Very twisted. Wow, that one, yeah, that must have gone out late. All right, last one. 2014. Oh, he had finally forgotten the one step it took for him to become sort of some sort of camera. Yeah, so I was thinking about those old Polaroid like Instamatic cameras that kind of all folded up. So like you flipped up a bar that was the flash bar, and you had to like kind of open it all up because it was like its own case. It was like a camera that was its own case. So yeah, just thinking of those weird old plastic Polaroid cameras. They used to kind of all fold up on themselves, so it was like some sort of camera. And I love that the photo is like doesn't ever develop. It's just a cloudy mess. It's funny now, like more than ever, since it's all digital photography. Like everything is so digitally based. The Polaroid pictures have an even more like I just had the word just kind of a naughty or kind of subversive feel. Like why would you take a Polaroid picture? Because you would want to take a picture of something like a crime scene or something horrible in a hotel room or whatever that you don't want anybody else to see. But illicit was the word I was thinking of. Yeah, it just has this whole illicit connotation now, but it's not really true because everyone's photos they take on their camera, if they're not backing them up to a cloud or whatever, are also like weirdly completely private and no one saw you produce them. That was the weird thing of like consumer photography for so many years, is you had to take it somewhere. Unless you had your own darkroom, you had to take it somewhere and let somebody else observe everything you photographed. Yeah, that's a very weird thing that existed for a while. So very easily you could use that, and nobody even really talked about that very much, but used that as a form of monitoring or censorship or whatever, because you knew, okay, these people are smokers, drinkers. You got a lot of like information from people's casual, candid photos, and you had their name and their address and their whatever, their credit card information, whatever, but we never really thought about, and this is pre really heavy privacy concerns, but they had a lot of information that could be connected to you, that could be sold to insurance companies, that could be, there's all kinds of, when did that start? Like, when did people start like thinking personal data was such a commodity? That's really funny. But yeah, back in those days where you took photos to stores, you actually those companies could have paid people to connect your name to places where you vacation. Like there was a lot of information in your personal photos that then could have been collected and sold. That's really weird. It's existed for a while, but it's like took us a long time to exploit that. All right, back to the photoshops. Yeah, that's a really weird thought. Yeah, we were giving away a lot of weird information. Nice, yeah. The candy canes. The plastic candy canes. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, the what do they call those? Advent calendars. Yeah, yeah. The yeah, advent calendar you kind of punch out the windows. Yeah, like Lego still does those. I'm not sure if it's like more for a European market or whatever, but Lego still does advent calendars a lot. And I think it's a more European thing, as I've seen a couple of YouTube channels that do competitive, like they each get an advent calendar and they see like how crap a lot of the toys and prizes are inside them. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, advent calendars. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Lego. I think I got, when my daughter was first into Legos, I got her a Lego advent calendar. But she was so busy. That's the thing that sucks, is you're so busy in the morning getting ready and going to school in Japan that she would punch it out and be like, okay, and then we like never had a chance to play with it because you don't have a long Christmas break here. So it's very funny. Yeah, eggnog. Yeah. Import stores here still carry eggnog sometimes during the holidays. Yeah, there's just some. Yeah, there's some things like that that are so connected to times and places and everything in your life. That's really crazy. Yeah, and that's also one of those things that must have been. It must be a European import to the U.S., but I'm not sure if it still exists in Europe. Like some of those traditional things that are brought over that become American traditions, but they may have like disappeared. Thick nog. They may have disappeared in their original context. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, there's one more of those things. What just happened? Some brand or something just disappeared in the U.S., but it's still in Japan. I can't remember, but yeah, that keeps happening. Like things will come to Japan and they're managed by domestic companies, or they're like actually separate. They're independent from the North American version, so that the original one can go bankrupt and it'll still exist in Japan. I forget what that was. There was some brand that just died. It was a small thing, but it like was another one to add to the list of those crazy things that exist now only in Japan. So Japan will become this like weird pop culture museum of America someday. Very strange. Well, I've got to, oh here, like I can tilt my camera back down. I got to get back to my tiny armies. Look at all these little guys. They're just like sitting. I've got a box right here. I've just been, after I primed them, I've been setting them on. Get back. Look at, I've got hordes of zombies and ghouls and vampires to attack all of these chivalrous knights. Yeah. So there's a bunch of so the two factions that were the most easily available were or that this artist did. They're two like main armies were the kind of Arthurian knights. So the faction is Arthurian knights, and the other is vampire counts. So it's necromancers and vampires versus the Grail knights of old Camelot. Yeah, that's what the griffin is too. The hippogriff. That's right. This is a hippogriff. It's a flying horse griffin thing. I guess it's a higher level griffin. But yeah, I got to get back to the printing and paint. These are going to be insane to paint. So I may do a painting stream on the other channel, on the Upturned table channel. I may do a painting stream, and I guess I'm going to get the camera with the better lens out so I can really focus down on these, because these are insanely small. Like well, you can just see like the average size of the humans. Those are 10 millimeters, so a centimeter tall, so less than half an inch. It's about a third of an inch. Yeah, so very tiny. So they'll be fun to try to paint. I mean, I have a terrible time with 28 millimeter, so 10 should be even more nightmarish. But there's a lot of nice technical paints and stuff that I can use to just kind of fill some of the clothes and stuff in, and it'll give me like a highlight and a shadow and everything just from the chemistry of the paint. And because these are so small, the detail, it should work out pretty well. You won't be able to see the kind of chemical reaction going on. But cool. So thanks everyone for being here for the odd day. I miss the clearly Canadian. I totally miss that. Nice. Oh yeah, zombies from Japan, Japanese zombies. Yeah, they're really tiny, and it's nice too because if anything gets broken or anything in the cleaning process, so one of them like came off the build plate in the washer and was kind of cycling around. I think he lost a limb in that process. It still works. Zombies are good because even if they lose body parts, they still look like zombies. Sorry. Yeah, I've got a. Oh, here I can show you. Got a lamp with a magnifier on it. So see, ba-bum. So yeah, I can put this up. So instead of like having to bend down and like get real fine, so I can. So I'm gonna do a giant face stream, so I can wear reading glasses and then look through a magnifier. So I've got like 10 times magnification. So to save my neck, I can put it up so that I'm actually painting up. But I think this is going to be my new stream. This is going to be the new look for my stream, is like one big eye or my giant nose. Yeah, but this is, and also see, whoa, it lights up. All right, enough of that. But yeah, those ring lamp magnifiers are a real lifesaver for miniatures. There's a lot of miniature painters that are like, that's a crutch, that's you're cheating by doing that. But literally my eyes are getting worse and worse, so it would be impossible. I could just close my eyes and paint like this, and it would look the same if I didn't use a magnifier, because my eyes can't handle that. That'll be my new introduction, as a giant magnified eye every time. Yeah, but that saves me the pain of actually having to get close to something and being all hunched over trying to see what I'm painting. So the camera thing's going to be a little bit of a problem, because I've got to figure out a good way to angle a camera like this way, a magnifier this way, and be able to paint stuff. So it'll be fun. It'll be a fun experiment. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. So Upturned table, I'll be live streaming that. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they do like a Chinese New Year and stuff. Yeah, they'll do an occasional like Lunar New Year, I think they call it. But they'll have some they have some good sales once in a while, and they're older models. They're definitely clearing out, so you can get things really cheap. Yeah, the my wash and cure system was like under $100, so there's some good deals around. It just keeps getting cheaper and cheaper and bigger as well. So if you go for the higher end stuff, the build plates now are getting huge. So that means that it's this like length and width dimension, and however high it can draw from the however long your kind of your those threaded supports are that pull the build plate up. You get quite a big dimension now. But that's a lot of material as well. That's the one thing with because the resin is more brittle and more expensive as a material. Things aren't so cheap. Like PLA is like dirt cheap compared to how much you need to use and stuff. But yeah, resin I think can get a lot more expensive, because the like 500 milliliter bottles here are still like almost $40, like 35 something. So it's a bit expensive. Oh yeah, Yeah, that's right. I've seen guys do. I think with the FDM printers, do cosplay. You know, helmets and stuff. I've seen like Mandalorian helmets and stuff. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think those are resin. But that's got to be expensive though. To do larger resin pieces is not cheap. That's why I went with the tiny little 10 mil. They look so huge though. When I put them right in front of the lens, they look gigantic. But if I held a penny up next to them, you could actually see how small they are. Nice. Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's good. K5. That's a good. I got to look out for that. I should do a wait for a sale and do like a bulk purchase because I know I'm going to go through a lot of resin to get all these armies done. It's so nice though to have like hundreds of miniatures and they literally fit in, you know, a little box like that. That's really cool. Compared to now I have, if you could see behind me, I've got a cabinet with just like, yeah, giant amounts of little guys in it. All right. Yeah, yeah, that's true too. Even for this like very specific hobby applications, people are doing a lot of free models, and detail isn't so. I mean, I love the detail of these. Like that's the thing you kind of pay for is the detail of the sculpts because there's a lot of people doing free 3D stuff. Oh, nice. Yeah, I haven't tried clear yet. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, this is semi. It's like a translucent or transparent kind of green, but when you cure it, it gets a little cloudier or lighter. And see, it's totally invisible here. But you can see like kind of the variation of the green. Yeah, I haven't tried putting a light underneath that. I'm curious. That would be a fun thing to do is do like little objective markers or whatever that had little LEDs in them. I have to see how this conducts the light of LED. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, the only thing that's not fun, I can show you on this one, is with these tiny ones and all the little pieces, the supports. So see all that stuff like dripping off of it? It looks like it's like, you know, a waterfall pouring off. So those are the supports. And on this size, to get that detail, you need a lot of little tiny supports for every like spike and every tooth and everything. So you got to cut all of those off and make sure that the where they came from, you know, looks decent. Oh yeah, so here's kind of a before and after. These are slightly different models, but here's a before and after. So this is how it comes out of the printer with all that stuff on it. And this is trimmed up so you can see the silhouette there. So there's the mouth and all the supports, and there's the mouth all trimmed up. So yeah, a lot of tiny trimming work, but yeah, they look good. And it's not that much different from cutting off of a plastic sprue, you know, like how a lot of model kits come where you have to cut them off of the frames. It's about that same level of work, so a little bit easier. Yeah, I got to play around with clear. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I didn't know that about. I gotta look and see what options are for transparent. That would be really cool because I can imagine a lot of applications for that because you could do buildings and stuff with windows that you could like light them from the inside and you know, paint the brickwork or whatever, but leave like skylights and windows and things translucent. That'd be really cool. Wow. Yeah, I'll have to see what's out there. And yeah, thanks for that's a good idea. The buy two get one free deals. I gotta start bulking up on some of the resin and stuff. Very cool. Well, that's what I'm probably going to be doing before dinner. Is printing a bunch of a lot more skeletons. I've got enough zombies. I need more skeletons. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining me. And yeah, I'll try to keep up with the 3D printer talk as much as I figure out. But yeah, much happier with the resin. It's much more this kind of stuff that I need right away, and kind of like scratching that itch of like being able to do different hobbies. That so these little tiny like the original metal miniatures and things for these are like $50 a set. They're like really expensive. So like maybe this many of these from the original versions are $50, and the material to produce all of this stuff that's like sitting in front of the camera is probably less than $10, maybe, just, you know, yeah, very, very cheap amount of material to do all that. So yeah, it's really, really nice. It's helped, yeah, get me excited about any stuff that's going out there. Oh, nice. Very nice. So the print time, yeah. So I can usually, like, on the build plate, probably do about that many miniatures, and that, depending on it's more about the height, because it's the number of layers it needs to make. But if they're the shorter kind of humanoid, anywhere between 2 to 4 hours. I think these guys were 4 hours. There were some other models on the same plate, but if you go up to about 4 centimeters, so maybe that's close to like an hour every few centimeters. Yeah, like 2 centimeters. It's probably about 2 hours. So yeah, it takes a while. But the nice thing you can do on the Photon too is check if you get any errors or any failed prints. You don't have to wait the whole 2 hours. You can actually check the progress and resume the print. So that works pretty well. I was happy with that. Yeah, Mother's Day sale. Nice. Yeah, but yeah, I've been happy with the resin. I wasn't crazy about the FDM PLA printer. Wasn't great. I had a lot of problems with the supposedly the ultra base or whatever that was supposed to release. When it cooled down, it would release the prints. I couldn't get the prints off and took the coating right off the base, so I literally replaced it with one of those mats, one of those adhesive mats that the other printer companies used, and that kind of works. But I'm still like banging with a hammer to get the prints to release. So this is nice, because if you get anything stuck, you can just kind of flick the film, the FDM film, on the resin printer, and it usually releases whatever stuck to it, or just use alcohol to dissolve it. But all right. Yeah, so the last segment will always be printer talk, 3D printer talk. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I just went with default settings for everything because they were close. The artist recommended some printer settings, and I think they were using a different brand printer. But the default settings for the Photon were really close to what the artist recommended, so I just stuck with the default settings. But yeah, I can probably do stuff faster too. Yeah, you can speed things up, and I may be able to do that. I'm just not feeling brave enough. Since I'm getting good results, I'm not brave enough to experiment yet. But if I start to get some more failure, or want to try some different types of pieces, prints on the printer, I may give that a shot. Nice. But yeah, so it was good to see everyone. I'm glad you guys were around for this Monday night, Tuesday morning live stream. So yeah, this will be the regular time, I think, for a while, and I'll try to jump on sometime during the week and try to paint some of these little tiny things. But yeah, that should be cool. It'd be my first time with 10 millimeter anything. They'd actually do go down to 6 millimeter. There are actually games that use 6 millimeter pieces. Nice. Ah, okay. The Mars resin build plate. Ooh. Oh, magnetic sheet. Oh, okay. Thank you, K5. I will take a look for that. Ah, very cool. Yeah, that'll help me a lot. Nice. Very cool. Ah, nice. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's been my biggest challenge. I haven't had any bad print failure, but I've had trouble like actually removing the prints from the base, like especially because I'm doing things with, like, thin ankles and stuff. So if I have to use too much force and the raft or the base that they're on is not big enough, the weakest point is going to be right at their legs, and so I've snapped off a bunch of stuff right at the legs. So that's, yeah, cool. I'll take a look at those sheets. That looks really cool. Nice. All right. So yeah, so I will be back next week. So thanks for joining me, and thanks again as always, K5 and Joe and Rev. Yeah, Rev, you helped a lot with the writing. That was very cool this week, and so everybody take care, and I'll be back again. This was the previous usual time, so yeah, I'll be back Monday nights, Tuesday mornings for a live stream every week, and abusecartoons.com is the website. If this is the first time watching, please take a look at gocomics.com/domestic abuse for the archive of everything. There's a patreon.com/abusecartoons, and Abuse Cartoons is also on Twitter at Abuse Cartoons. So that's all. Everything is Abuse Cartoons except the archive itself. So everybody take care. And yeah, have a good night and get some sleep. And hopefully everyone's been able to fall asleep to my my generic store brand Walmart voice for this evening, and be nice and relaxed. So take care, and I will do this again with you next week. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and goodbye.